All right, good morning, cyber traders. Welcome on back to this Thursday, February 24th. Great to see all of us live inside the cyber group room. Michael, Andrea, Ray. We have Chuck, Norman, Lawrence. Where are the ladies in the room at? Great to see Kathleen, of course, as always. We had Leda earlier, I believe. And all of us otherwise, of course, Tony, Brad, and all of us here inside the cyber group room, and all of us on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube. Hey, you got me for another morning, right? Fausto is still in Florida on business. I think he was actually half vacation, but now on business. He's doing a bunch of media stuff going on down there. So hey, folks. Obviously, we're just going to address the elephant in the room here. First off, thoughts and prayers to, of course, anyone out there in the Ukraine, anyone out there around the surrounding nations of Ukraine, anyone who has family over in Ukraine or the surrounding nations. Give me a quick sec. There we go. I had to kill the music inside the live trading room. I appreciate Ron just typing that in the chat board. One of the rare little mess ups I had there. I was a little more worried about this first speech, of course. So I wanted to just readdress the elephant in the room. Of course, everything happening out there in Ukraine, and of course, thoughts and prayers to everyone over there, everyone that may be living in surrounding nations of Ukraine, anyone who has family around that area. Obviously not a good time to be alive right now, and that goes across the board. That's as far as I'll say about that, because I don't really know much about that situation as a whole. It's funny. I follow a sports radio show called the Pat McAfee Show. I don't know if anyone knows of it, but it's a very funny line, blunt line. I'm not going to say the cuss words that he says, but he often kids and says, "I don't know bleep about bleep." Well, folks, I don't know bleep about bleep, and I don't want to talk out of pocket. So, that's all I wanted to say there, of course, right? I just want to think positively, and I just want to send my thoughts and prayers to everyone over there and anyone who has family, over there. All right, but folks, we keep the show going here inside Cyber Trading University. So let's hop right to it here. The INDO trade up 90+% here, breaking all-time highs this morning. I get the stock confused with the ISPC trade. I think that was one of the crazier ones that we ended up trading over the last like month or so. Stock went from like 6 to 30. There was another one also, I think another I stock that went to like even $70. I get them confused. But the INDO in particular, we've had our fair share of fun on this stock here. Ended up making a nice run going back into the end of January for us, but now breaking all-time highs, like smashed above it early this morning. Ran from like 8 all the way up to 20 at first. Now at this point, you'd think for such a sharp squeeze up, is that the end of the run? Is that it? Well, oftentimes it is. But for right now, given the range that this stock already has in pre-market, and folks, we talked about that just about like 12 hours ago, maybe 18 hours ago yesterday in the phase two curriculum, talking about a stock's range and its increments that it may trade within. This is definitely a level five stock, something that's more likely to be trading, if not every 50 cents, then perhaps every dollar for there to be, a more prominent, well-defined, support resistance to work with. So for right now in the INDO trade, actually on my screen, my other screen that I've charted up, I have 10 as a major level. I have 15 as a major resistance, although it's been a little choppy around there thus far. I would assume 15 to be a major top to work with upon the market opening up. And then otherwise, we ended up just seeing a lot of volume get filled roughly off of 1450, 1446-ish. So once we happen to see INDO begin to snap above those two price levels, I'd imagine, then we could anticipate a much better run. If not up to the pre-market high, then perhaps even to break a new high and reach new uncharted territory. So definitely INDO, we're going to put back on our watch list here heading into the open, right? Alrighty. Let's keep it going, folks. And I know a couple of us very passionate inside this live trading room with fair reason, right? And let's try and keep the chat as trading related as possible, please. That's all I'll kind of ask, right? But otherwise, INDO making a nice move this morning pre-market. This is one of the only stocks that are, of course, moving up. Hey, we have UVXY, which is moving up, but that's an ETF. With, the markets dropping off, we have UVXY gapping up. It was grinding on up earlier today, making lower highs right now. We saw a couple of stocks begin to make a slight rebound here, like, AMC we had on the pre-market watch list heading into the open. It was down like 10%, 9 to 10%. Hey, making a bit of a bounce right now. So when you happen to see a lot of these stocks that move with the market, move upward, UVXY is going to pull back more often than not. So that's just the basic trend to follow, at least for right now, folks. Easy to be said. I know one of our students, Chuck, one of our traders at least, he knows his stuff. He was saying, hey, this could be a pretty difficult day altogether, and he's anticipating on more kind of scalping, throughout the morning. So, hey, either way you trade, just try and follow the markets as best as you can here. Not to say follow UVXY in particular. You may be more interested in following just SPY or QQQ, or maybe just the Nasdaq as a whole. So, for right now, at least as far as a tradable ETF, yeah, UVXY will put back on our watch list. And then otherwise, right away, just with a lot of these other stocks that we've been following from pre-market this morning, and stocks that we just generally know that could follow the market, stocks like the AMC trade, stocks like SOFI, stocks like Neo and Palantir. And I kind of lumped up the airlines all together here in the pre-market. I feel like I could just re-add all of these heading into the watch, or re-add all of these on the watch list heading into the open, right? So, I'll do just that really. AMC, Neo, which is definitely a more volatile stock to follow, and more drops. It obviously becomes more within our price range to trade within. So, AMC, Neo, we're fans of here. The SoFi trade, the more it drops in price, then the more liquid it's even going to become on the order book, which means it's more likely to move even a bit slower. Notice why I haven't been calling out space as much lately. Hey, it's been getting clobbered. It's been dropping off with the market dropping off, for a little while now. I think they had one up day, but otherwise ended up continuing to pull back this morning. Hey, this could be a great stock to trade, but it's going to be a lot slower compared to the AMCs and the Neos out there. So, hey, this could be more of a level 1 or 2 trade. But if you're looking for a more volatile push, something that can get you 50 cents, a dollar, perhaps, I don't think this would be the type of stock to do it with, right? Just like you could say the same thing with FCell, right? We know how slow FCell is. So, I'm not going to be as keen to trade FCell as I would today, perhaps a plug, right? Even plugs a little bit slower compared to some of the other sideless stocks that we typically call out. All right. Let's see. We got IMPP up about 40% pre-market, says Peter. That's true. That's true, but it wasn't really moving up since 8 o'clock, right? I didn't even put this on the pre-market list at first. Shortly after 8 o'clock, I had noticed it and I said, oh, well, definitely, and with good reason, we should put this on the pre-market list from that point. I forgot about the IMPP trade from yesterday, but it ended up making a huge run early in pre-market. Hasn't done jack since, though. I mean, it's kind of holding above 150 support, so that's good to see. But with lower highs, I'm sure we're going to get a lower low. So, yeah, I mean, IMPP, we could definitely add to our watch list alongside the INDO. This wasn't one of the other stocks I was thinking about that made a pop to 70. What was it? It was ISPC. We had the INDO. There was another one recently that we ended up trading. That's what happens when you get traders dyslexia. There's one that ended up going up to like 70, right? I think I'm thinking of ISPO. There's ISPC and then there's ISPO. ISPO is the one I'm thinking about. There we go. I'm happy I caught that in time. There we go. ISPO from just, the end of last week, right? All right. So, folks, let's keep it going down the gainers list for right now. I mean, I see a couple of our students making 1 or 2 more call outs. So, we'll look at them really quick. Hey, is it possible for USWS to make a pop today? Yeah. But has it done anything? No. So, I'm not interested in following a stock that has no trend right now. If it pops after the open, then maybe we'll try and react from there. Hey, the HUSA going into 8 o'clock, this had a nice uptrend at first. That's why I felt more compelled to put HUSA on the pre-market list at first, but same thing, hasn't done jack since. Mike C says CEI has an interesting history for cyber trading. Well, that's true, right? I mean, so that's why I'll take a look at it here, and it is trying to inch back up right now. Much like the others here, it pushed up early in pre-market. It didn't really do a whole lot since. We are a lot more familiar with CEI over the last 6 months or so, right? 6 to 8 months. We've had our fair share of fun on this type of trade. Uh, I don't mind. I guess I could put this on our watch list out of all these others that are on the gainers so far. I guess I could be more interested in this compared to those. Tell also trying to make a little bit of a move up right now, up 10+%. This one doesn't look too bad. I think Tell's taking the cake here so far, Mike. Out of these other stocks on the gainers list here at first, like ENSV is doing nothing right now, garbage. Uh, I'm trying to skip the ETFs. That's really my key here. I see LABD, JNUG, SOX, FAZ, Yang, like all these are ETFs. I need to skip over them pretty much. You know what? I'll add TEL to the watch list. That one didn't look too bad. TELL, trying to make a bit of a bounce back up from like $3 or so. It's also shortable, so if this does drop off, this could be a pretty good opportunity. Chuck Z calling out BTU. Well, from the loser side, right? Losers list here, but it's just like a side list stock. Just the pre-market chart looks really spotty for right now. It's trading 245,000 shares, but hey, if you've done well on this stock personally over the last week or two, then I'm sure you'll be more gravitated to follow it. But I don't think this will, be a better stock to follow compared to some of these we already have on the list. Well, I'll tell you what. As we stay on the loser side there, at least Chuck, YNDX is a Russia-based stock. That's the little research I did digging this morning. So we've been seeing the stock get clobbered over the last few days, but I didn't even check the news or at least what this company is until right now. So I know that they do a lot of internet and database services, not just for Russia, but for surrounding nations of Russia. But I believe they're mainly based in Russia here. So YNDX dropping off, at least on the TradeStation platform, they're shortable. Hey, if they're not shortable for you on your platform, if it's Thinkorswim, Webull, etc., hey, there's plenty of other fish out there in the sea to catch, right? Hopefully AMC, Neo, SoFi, should they drop today, hopefully those are easy to borrow for you. But yeah, YNDX definitely going to put on our watch list for right now. SKLZ is just super flat. I mean, dropped off big in the after hours off bad earnings, but right now this one's not doing a whole lot. We'll keep this on the side list. I would have no problem calling out, skills if this makes a decent move for us after 9:30, but again, we'll kind of skip over this for right now. Fubo, you could say the same thing, down big. It's kind of at the pre-market lows, so that is a little more eye-catching to me, but yeah, a little flat here, right? Then obviously there's probably like a whole list of stocks that are down a lot more than what we've seen so far. So, again, folks, if there are any other side list stocks that catch your eye that look really good, type it in the chat board. Just let me know really quick. Just want to make sure our students have enough time to prep, get ready, chart up, line up heading into the open. Chuck says regarding YNDX, because Chuck's been trading this over the last few days, so I'd imagine he knows his stuff on this one. So Chuck says YNDX is the largest search engine in Russia. That's kind of what I was thinking. I didn't even want to say that because I didn't want to be wrong. Kind of labeled as like internet and data service based company, but he does correct me though. He says the company's based in the Netherlands though. All right, I'll copy and paste at least what I had here. So perhaps based in the Netherlands though, but I know that they do a lot of business within Russia. They say it's an internet and technology company and operating internet search engines in Russia. Okay, so perhaps based in Netherlands, but they're operating the internet search engines in Russia. It builds products and services powered by machine learning, blah, blah, blah. They offer services in Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. Interesting. But yeah, there we go. From Peter, he says, do you think the markets could be halted today? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, SPY's already down 2+% near 2.5%. But my guess is going to be no. Don't take my word for it, but my guess will be no. I think that we saw a bigger drop off, at least in the beginning of the pandemic. Bigger short term drop off, I should say. Mark saying SoFi. So SoFi, I think I already put on the list here. I mean, it's just a great side list stock, has a high ATR for its price. So that's definitely why I've been more keen to follow it. And yeah, we'll keep the SoFi trade on the list. I'll kind of label the airlines all together as I did on the pre-market watch list for us. And Chuck says it's Russia's Google wannabe. That's a nice way to phrase it. That's a good way to phrase it there, at least. Alrighty, folks, once again, really quick, I just can't stress this part enough. Just thoughts and prayers again to anyone out there in Ukraine, around Ukraine, that has family members out there, family and friends out there in Ukraine. just please stay safe. All right, folks. But for all of us here, otherwise, hey, best of luck trading heading into the market open for Peter, Mark, Chuck, Bill, Peter, James. Yeah, Norman in here, Andrea, all of us. Otherwise, I look forward to catching up with you folks coming up at the opening bell. Talk to you all soon. Take care.